again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today is full deck challenge day again and we are moving on to card number 19 and the prompts for that are paper weaving. Now for those of you that are new, welcome. It's nice to have you watching, and if you know about the full deck challenge you know that there's some parameters. One of them is that you have to have a constant, and my constant is paint samples. Each card has to have a paint sample portion on it somewhere. Also, you know that there's always the prompt that Shana gives us, which is the paper weaving, but you also need to bring something forward from the last card. So this week I'm bringing forward gold. So I've got gold on this one from last week. Here's Jacques, our lovely man making the beautiful chocolate truffles. So we've got gold in different types of paper, and I've bought some gold through for this week. I'm going to do that. So let's get all of the supplies ready and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, I've already got a bit of a head start on the card. I've picked the 5 of hearts for today's challenge. I've already covered the back of it just with some scrapbook paper, and I've dated it. It's the 18th of May today, and I've covered that, glued that down already. But I've picked the 5 of hearts because we're going to do something that relates a little bit to Mother's Day. Now in Australia we celebrate Mother's Day on the second Sunday of May. The flowers that we tend to give are chrysanthemums, and you can see here that I have got a chrysanthemum. I've already mounted it on some paper and fussy cut it out for the card. So we're going to be using the chrysanthemum, and I've picked the 5 of hearts because 5 is the month of May, the 5th month in the year, and hearts being I love my mum. Hi Mum. Hope you're having a good day. That's what we're going to be doing today. I also am going to do some paper weaving, and you can see here that I have all of these scraps from another project that I was doing, and it's got a little bit of gold in there. You can see the gold that I'm carrying forward. I've got some gold offcuts as well, so I'm going to paper weave some of these scraps and create a background for this card. But before we go and do the paper weaving, you can see here that I have my palette, my paint palette, and I have a whole lot of little bits of ephemera. Now I've just pulled out a range of different things, and you can see that it's got a bit of a specimen field notes feel to it, and that's because I'm going to decorate the card with that kind of idea. It won't look exactly like a specimen card, but it'll have that sort of feel to it. So I'll just pop that to the side for the moment, and we're going to head to doing the paper weaving. I will probably set this up and put the video to some music and speed it up, because it's obviously going to take me quite a while to weave this into something for the background for my card. So grab yourselves a cup of tea or coffee, and you can listen to the music and watch me weave something with the paper. So see you soon. So here we are. I have all of these leftover paper scraps from doing a few other projects. I also need to use some sort of paint swatch because that's my constant. So I thought I would cut down a few strips of the paint swatches and put them in amongst some of these strips as well, and we'll do some paper weaving. Okay, we're back and I have woven this paper. It did take me longer than I thought, but that's because they were such little pieces and it's fiddly. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm going to glue this down onto the face of the card now and then tear off some of it that I don't want and then start just decorating the card. You can see that I have woven in some gold pieces into it. And the tape down the side is just holding it because none of it is glued at the moment. So I'll put some glue onto my card. I think I'm going to use art glitter glue. Okay, we'll give that a bit of a burnish. Now what I did while I was weaving was that I cut up some paint samples. You can see here I've got some paint samples cut up. There's a ColourBond one. And I've woven some of the colours through. Some of the little strips I've put them through. So there's the offcuts from the scrapbook paper, but there's also some paint swatch scraps woven into there as well. So we'll just roughly cut it down first. Okay, so that's where we're at. I've just glued that down and I've pulled away the pieces that were near the 5 of hearts so that we can see that. I've got some gold through it and I've also got some paint swatches through it, and I've left all of the irregular edge. I quite like that. It was a nice surprise. Now I've got my chrysanthemum and I think that I'd like to put a little bit of gesso on this just to pull it back just a tad. I don't want the colour to be really saturated. Let's let that dry. Okay, I've just got a little bit of cheesecloth and I'm going to just spritz that with some vintage photo just to take a little bit of the stark whiteness off of it. Just a tiny little spritz. So I've just got some vintage photo mixed up in this spritzer and I'm just going to do a very light spray. Yes, okay, let's glue that down. We can cut it back later if it's too much. Okay, I've glued that on. And I think that I want to put a tiny little bit of gesso onto this image just to pull it back a little bit too. Yes, that's a little bit better. You can see that it's just put a little bit of a cloudy look onto this one. It's not so in your face. Now, what am I going to put with this? What do I have? I have some tickets. I quite like this little bit here, maybe as a bit of a banner. Let's tear some of that. Look at my hands, they're covered in gesso. Don't you love it? I like the specimen, however, it's going into the green a little bit too much. So, what else do we have here? We have field notes. Oh yes, that's quite good. I also have the name of the chrysanthemum here. I have the chrysanthemum name, but I also have a tiny little one. I think I prefer the little one with it. Let's get our chrysanthemum on. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink around the edge of that. It's left on my sponge, and it'll be vintage photo because that's what I use the most of. Now, some news. My husband was off work on Friday because there was a holiday, and he took me to a second-hand bookshop here in Brisbane that we'd never been to before, and it's a community bookshop, so it's ran completely by volunteers. In the car, I gave him a bit of a brief. I said to him, now, these are the sorts of things that I'm looking for. So I said to him, I'm after books that have some really good illustrations in it, coloured illustrations, or even black and white. It doesn't matter. I didn't really mind. I said to him, now we've not been here before, so I don't know whether it's going to be expensive or what the go is with it. But it's in Salisbury. It was a very big surprise. It was absolutely loaded with books. So the pricing of the books was $4 a book, or 8 books for $24, and then from then on it was $3 per book after that. So for secondhand books, I mean, that's not overly cheap. Normally you can get books for $1 or something like that, or $2, but pushing it up to $4 was getting a little bit more expensive. I'm just going to glue this down. I'm happy with that. Like I said, I briefed him. I said, I want some with illustrations. I want birds. I want gardening, like flowers, herbs, plants, any kind of plants, didn't matter. I didn't mind, and any kind of charts. Or illustrations or sketches. It didn't really matter whether it was about boats or aeroplanes or mathematical equations, or I wasn't really fussed. I just wanted some charts of some sort. And I also wanted flowers, and flowers that I could fussy cut out. And this flower today is one of the ones that I got out of it. That was the goal. We'll write something on here. Let's write figure. Let's write figure dot 5, and we'll stick that on. So the problem for me was limiting myself to not too many books. I didn't want too many books. I didn't want to, like it's all well and good to have them, but you've got to store them as well, don't you? You've got to have somewhere for them to all live. And our bookshelf, my husband's made a new bookshelf to fit things in. Anyway, we were in there for about an hour having a bit of a look, and I said to him, okay, I need to cull. I had a pile of things that I liked the look of, and I had to cull. But one of the books that we managed to find, now for those of you that live in Australia, you would know how difficult it is to get your hands on this particular book. For those of you in other parts of the world, it may be a little bit easier, but I got the Holy Grail. Look, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden, and I could not believe it. I actually screeched when he pulled it out from the gardening section. He said, oh, do you like this one? And I couldn't believe it. I actually was almost jumping around the bookshop with excitement. You get the gist. So I got lots and lots of amazing things, and I was really happy with them. Now let's put a few butterflies on here. I've got different colours out. We want some that will pop. Is pretty good. And maybe this yellow one. Don't want anything too bright. That will do. Put a comment below if you'd like me to do a video on the secondhand books that I got from the bookshop. I ended up getting technically 10 books because the gentleman that was serving, he ended up putting one in for free. But I actually got 9. I paid for 9 books, but I did actually get 10. Yeah. So comment below if you'd like me to do just a quick video showing the secondhand books that I got from the community bookshop at Salisbury here in Brisbane. Okay, I think we're getting close now. I'm going to put on here a little bit of Winker Stella. and maybe on the butterflies. Specimen on the back. Now what it does need are some white splatters. The dreaded white splatters. But that's what it needs. And a little bit of black pen around our name here. Let's get some white splatters on. Like I said, the dreaded white splatters. They end up going everywhere. Oh, wish me luck. Here we go. I've hit this with the heat gun and dried off those splatters. They just add a little bit of brightness to it. So let's put a hole in this. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not going to measure. Maybe orange. Yes, let's use an orange one. Okay, I've just popped on a couple of gems so that we're carrying over something that's a little bit more obvious from the previous card, because most of the gold has got covered up. And I mean, you can still see the paint swatches. They're still, fairly obvious to me. I know where they are, but the gold is pretty much hidden under everything. It's a tiny bit at the top. So I've just popped on some little gems just so that we've carried something over that we can see a bit better. So there's our card for today, card number 19, with our woven background that's got paint swatches and some gold and some scrapbook paper in it. We've got a chrysanthemum there as our focal point. So happy Mother's Day to all of those mums out there for the month of May. And it's kind of got a little bit of a field notes story to it with the name of the chrysanthemum, a few butterflies around, and then on the back just a specimen and the date. And I've kept all of those frayed edges, which I quite like, from the paper weaving. So there's your card. Let's add this one to the pack. I'm in a bit of a mess today, but that's okay. It means I've been playing. And just once again, if you'd like me to do just a very quick haul video to show you the secondhand books that I got from the community secondhand bookshop here in Brisbane, just leave a comment below and let me know whether you'd be interested in seeing that. So, all right, thanks again. So give the video a thumbs up if you like the card and you like the video, and I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.